We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go.
Welcome into Reaction Monday on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yow, joined as always by Mo Patton, coming to you from the Lee Company studio of our humble abodes. But I did go to our studio today, Mo.
Oh, yeah?
And work is progressing.
Progressing.
Yes. So
progressing is good.
Yes, we have the first coat of primer on the wall. It's looking good. So hopefully soon we will be back in the actual Lee Company studio. So looking forward to that and looking forward to this show. It's going to be a good one. Josh Corey of Titans Community Relations is going to join us. And that'll be at 3 o'clock. We'll also talk to Joe Rexroad. Hopefully not this time from an airport. Maybe he'll be at the house this time. Who knows? We've talked to Joe in a lot of different places. He's been walking his dog. That was back when we were, right after his show ended. We were on at 9 o'clock, and he would come on. And so you never know where Joe's going to be.
But what that says is Joe is always willing to make time for us.
That's right. You never know where you're going to get Joe from, and it's always fun to play where in the world is Joe Rexroad?
Where in the world is Joe Rexroad? Yes, exactly.
Oh man, so looking forward to that conversation. Talk a little March Madness and probably some Titans, considering the rumors that are flying around out there, and so much more. Of course, we'll get into last night's NCAA Women's Championship game, because I don't know if you guys know this or not. We've been talking about women's sports. This is not new for us. We knew who Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were way before. I mean, we've been talking about these folks for a minute. Okay, so we're going to have a conversation about last night.
No sprained ankles from bandwagon jumping here.
No, not at all. And and boy, what a night it was for women's basketball.
What a women's Final Four it was, man. I mean,
we said it.
Games as well. Yes,
we said it. So it was a heck of a weekend for women's basketball, and couldn't have asked for better at all. So we'll get into that a little bit more as well. Plenty to talk about. Of course, we'll talk about the Braves' big series with the hated St. Louis Cardinals, and Charlie Morton goes to the bump tonight. So plenty to get to, but we have obviously it's Monday, so the rundown is rather lengthy, so we might as well get you right to it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Here we go. Friday high school baseball action. Beach 6, Bartlett 1. Spring Hill doubles up Blackman 4-2 as Clarksville 2-0 over Watkins Memorial of Ohio, and Clarksville Academy 12-9 winners over Green Hill. Columbia Central 10-run Centennial 12-2, and Columbia Academy an 8-7 winner over Pike County Central of Kentucky. It was Davidson Academy 7, Clarksville Northwest nothing. Defensive battle there on the gridiron. South side of Alabama 5-4 winners over Eagleville, but the Eagles bounced back with an 8-2 win over Brookville, Pennsylvania. It was East Robertson 7, Cascade 6. East Robertson also Smith 15-1 winners over Smith Cotton of Missouri. Franklin Road Academy 9-8 over Waverly, and West Limestone of Alabama 17-7 over Giles County. It was Hampshire 9, Zion Christian 7. Henry County 6-5 winners over Montgomery Central, and John Overton 11-5 over Father Ryan. It was Knoxville Catholic 12, Middle Tennessee Christian 2. Loretto with a pair of wins, 14-4 over Wilson, Alabama, and 5-3 over Mars Hill of Alabama. Mars Hill Bible. Oakland 4-2 winners over Fishers, Indiana. Page 7-2 against Brentwood. It was Ravenwood 4, Belleville East of Illinois 2. Richland 7-1 over Grundy County, and Hartsville, Alabama downs Riverdale 11-6. It was Science Hill 10, Christiansburg, Virginia 9. Shelbyville 8-2 over over Richland. Yeah. McCallie 12-1 over Siegel. And Zionsville, Indiana 7, Spring Hill 1. Clarksville 1-0 over Station Camp. Summertown with a pair of wins, and 15-8 over Heritage Christian of Indiana, and 20-8 over Huntsville of Alabama. Offensive juggernauts there. Plymouth 4-0 winners over Crawfordsville, Indiana, and Columbia Academy 23, Sweetwater 5.
Saturday baseball action. Zionsville of Indiana defeated Beach 5-4. It was McCallie 15, Blackman 4. Brentwood Academy with a 10-0 win over Overton. Clarksville High 7, Fishers, Indiana 0. Clarksville Academy 7, West Vigo of Indiana 6. Franklin with a 7-4 win over Columbia Central. Christ Presbyterian downs Lipscomb Academy 8-2. Davidson Academy with a pair of wins, 16-4 over Alexandria, Indiana, and 15-2 over Huntland. Dixon County downs Creekwood 11-1. It was Fairview 15, East Hickman 4. Florence of Alabama defeated Ravenwood 10-8. Forest defeated Richland 15-8. Friendship Christian defeated Perry County 19-0. Hampshire with a 9-8 win over Franklin Christian. Eagleville 12, Hickson 7, Antioch 13, Howard 0. Howard returns the favor 13-7. Rockvale 15, Laverne 0. Gallatin with a 6-2 win over Lebanon. Madison County of Alabama 2, Lawrence County 1. Good Pasture defeats Montgomery Bell Academy 20-7. Coalfield with a 6-4 win over Middle Tennessee Christian. Middle Tennessee Christian bounces back for a 13-1 win over William Blunt. Henry County edges Montgomery Central 11-10. Ravenwood with an 8-5 win over Prattville, Alabama. Riverdale defeated Coffee County 11-5. Beach with an 8-7 win over Smyrna. McCracken County of Kentucky down Station Camp 5-2. Summit with a 2-touchdown win over Clarksville Northeast 14-0. Mount Juliet 8, Upperman 6. Watertown 9, Hendersonville 5. Wilson of Alabama defeats Lawrence County 6-5. Wilson Central defeats Summit 9-7. And Columbia Academy with a 17-8 win over York Institute.
Columbia Academy took their bats out east, didn't they? Goodness gracious, 40 runs
Clearly.
in 2 games.
Yeah. Hey,
Goodness.
I'm not mad at them.
Softball action on Friday. Nolensville shuts out Beach 12-0. It was Beach 7, Jackson Christian 4. Blackman over Franklin County by the same 7-4 score. Summertown 12, Columbia Academy 6. And you said there was a comeback involved in that one. So, yeah.
Yes.
And Hatton of Alabama 13, Girls Preparatory School 1. No shame there, GPS, I promise. Hazel Green of Alabama 6-1 over Smyrna. Lipscomb Academy 10, McGavick 3, Smyrna 7, Sparkman of Alabama 6, Ravenwood 5-1 winners over Westmoreland. On Saturday, it was Beach edging Donaldson Christian 7-6 and Friendship Christian 5-4 over Beach. It was Greenbrier 5, Lebanon of Virginia 0. Knoxville Halls and Greenbrier tied at 0. I don't know how that happens. It's probably pool play.
Drop dead.
Yeah, probably pool play.
Yeah. Okay.
Henry County 9-4 winners over Davidson Academy. Battleground Academy 11, McGavick 4, and Smyrna takes out Paducah Tillman, Kentucky 9-3. It was McCracken County, Kentucky 4, Smyrna 3. Centennial edges Stewart's Creek 3-2. Stewart's Creek with a pair of wins, 6-0 over Milford, Illinois, and 6-2 over Jackson Christian. Westmoreland takes 3, 11-3 over Grace Franklin, 10-1 over McGavick, and 3-1 over Stone Memorial. It was Lipscomb Academy 6, Westmoreland 4. Columbia Academy shuts out Zion Christian 16-0. And on Sunday, Dobbins Bennett doubles up Greenbrier 6-3.
Friday, high school boys soccer action. It was Bearden Blank and Hendersonville 3-0. Bartlett with a 2-1 win over Columbia Central. Knox Central 3, Gallatin 0. Good Pasture defeated Cottage Hill of Alabama 2-1. Giles County with a 2-1 win over Lawrence County. Page 6, Marshall County 0. Station Camp 2, Norman North of Oklahoma 1. Westmoreland blanks Upperman 1-0. On Saturday, it was McGill Tulin of Alabama 3, Columbia Central 2. Greenville with a 2-1 win over Gallatin. Hendersonville blanks Farragut 2-0. Martin Luther King 2, Overton 1. Station Camp 2, Edmond North of Oklahoma 1. Westmoreland defeats Mount Juliet Christian 3-1, and White County with a 3-0 win over Westmoreland. Girls flag football action on Sunday across Williamson County. Brentwood defeated Centennial 21-14. Fairview blanked Brentwood 27-0, and Fairview with the 15-12 win over Centennial, leaving the Cougars still winless, by the way. Ravenwood with a 28-0 win over Independence. Franklin downed Independence 19-6, and then the Lady Admirals finished off the Lady Raptors 20-7. Summit with a pair of close victories, 13-12 over Page and 16-12 over Nolensville. In the other game, it was Page 20, Nolensville 7.
College baseball action. Vanderbilt continues their historic start to SEC play with a sweep over Georgia 9-2, 16-8, and 4-0. LSU and Tennessee split on Saturday and Sunday. On Friday and Saturday after LSU took game one on Thursday. It was LSU 6-4 winners on Friday and Tennessee doubling up LSU 14-7 on Saturday. Belmont did not play. That was supposed to be Bellarmine, not Belmont. I was certainly confused. Bellarmine takes an 8-6 win over Austin Peay to start the series, but the Governors bounced back with 6-4 win and took out some frustration, 25-4 in the Sunday finale. Belmont swept Evansville 8-1, 9-2, and 7-5 in 13 innings in that last one. Lipscomb on Friday used an inside the park home run to edge Liberty 2-1.
Ooh.
And then down the Flames 8-7, did Lipscomb with an E. Liberty finishes off Lipscomb in Sunday 9-4.
Lipscomb.
MTSU sweeps FIU 10-7, 14-8, and 13-12, while Trevecca took 3 from Lake Erie, and they just started game 4 in that series at 2 o'clock. 8-2, 8-5, and then 4-3. Cumberland with the win over Freed Hardeman 11-7 before falling 5-3 and 6-1. Tennessee Southern with a sweep of Bethel 12-1, 5-3, 19-0. And in junior college action, Columbia State takes 2 of 3 from Southwest Tennessee, 14-6, 12-9. And then the Salukis with a 13 win over the Chargers. Did find out that Dawson Hargrove has committed to continue his career at Montevallo, where the center of the state of Alabama is, Mo. So
Yeah,
they have a
former Spring Hill, current Southwest Tennessee pitcher. Yeah,
that's right. And Walter
and
State.
Southwest Tennessee finished that off 13-10. You did not give the Charger score. Yeah,
my bad.
That's all right.
Walter State 2 of 3 from Vol State, 4-3 and 6-2, but Vol State with a 23-6 win in game 2. Yeah. There you go.
Man. Every game is something different, man. Tennis in softball action. Tennessee took 2 of 3 from Texas A&M, won 2-1 in 10 innings, lost 3-1, won 9-2. Like you said, every game's different. Austin Peay takes the opener against Florida Gulf Coast 6-0, then falls 6-0 and 5-4. Evansville takes 2 of 3 from Belmont, winning 3-2 in 11 and 3-1. Belmont winning 6-5. Stetson took 2 of 3 from Lipscomb, winning 8-5 and 1-0, with the Lady Bison winning 2-1. FAU swept Middle Tennessee State 10-4, 4-3, and 3-2 in 12. Eastern Illinois swept Tennessee State 5-3, 4-1, and 5-4. Trevecca takes 2 of 3 from Northwood, winning 7-1 and 2-0.
Split.
Drop in the middle. Oh, it's a 4-game series. My bad.
D2's weird.
Yeah. Trevecca takes 3 of 4 from Northwood, falling 10.
No, they played 2 different people.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Trevecca splits with Northwood 7-1 and 10-6, and wins twice against Ashland 2-0 and 9-5. Jesus. Freed Hardeman won 3 games against UT Southern 7-0, 10-0, and 16-4. Thanks, Chris. And junior college action, Southwest Tennessee took 3 of 4 from Columbia State, winning 11-10, 8-3, and 13-11, with the Lady Chargers winning 8-5 in the second game on Friday. I guess. I don't know.
No, they played two
Walters,
doubleheaders, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Oh. Walter State takes 2 of 3 from Vol State, winning 6-5, 8-7, 9-1. Lady Pioneers winning 10-2. Major League Baseball action. The Braves took game 2 of the 3-game series at Washington 7-1, but fell in Sunday's series finale 4-1. Grizzlies split a pair over the weekend, defeating the Clippers 108-94, falling to the Bulls 128-107, and the Preds at Bridgestone defeat St. Louis 6-1.
Baseball action. Stewart's Creek is at Antioch today at 4 o'clock. Also at 4, Logan County, Kentucky's at East Robertson. Glencliff and Hume Fogg set to play a doubleheader at 4:30. Pope Prep will be at Father Ryan also at 4:30. And Goodpasture hosting Davidson Academy. Hillwood is at Martin Luther King. Donaldson Christian's at Mount Juliet Christian. Cane Ridge is at Smyrna for a doubleheader. All of those at 4:30. At 5 o'clock, it's Christian Community at Joe Burns. Murfreesboro Central Magnet hosting Maplewood. Nolensville takes on Brentwood. Santa Fe's at Richland. Hampshire's at Wayne County. And Collinwood's at home against Culleoka. Summit goes to Columbia Central. And Gallatin is at Hendersonville. Moore County hosts Zion Christian. Loretto's at Mount Pleasant. Clarksville Academy is at Nashville Christian. Summertown hosts Lewis County, and Westmoreland's at home against Watertown. But make sure you check your local listings. It's been raining for a while.
Yeah, no doubt. At 6:30, Springfield is at Clarksville. Also, Columbia Academy is hosting the Webb School of Bell Buckle. Fairview hosts White House Heritage. Centennial travels to Franklin. Ezel Harding is at Friendship Christian. Hillsborough plays at Overton. Page is at Lawrence County. Providence Christian goes across town to Middle Tennessee Christian. Well, not really across town. Anyway, Ravenwood hosts Independence. Marshall County is at Spring Hill. Those are all 6 o'clock starts. 7 o'clock first pitch. McGavock at Cheatham County. Liberty Creek at Creekwood. Portland at Greenbrier. And Montgomery Central hosting White House.
Softball action. Station camps at Beach at 4:30. East Robertson hosts Westmoreland at the same time. Loretto's at Mars Hill Bible. And Martin Luther King is hosting Murfreesboro Central. McGavock is at Mount Juliet Christian. Again, all those at 4:30. At 5 o'clock at Springfield at Gallatin. Liberty Creek at home against White House. Davidson Academy at Nashville Christian. Centennial's at Ravenwood. Lincoln County's at Lawrence County. And Pages at Marshall County. At 6 o'clock is Blackman at Brentwood. Columbia Central hosting Richland. Columbia Academy is at Dixon County. Zion Christian is at Eagleville. Charleston County is at Hendersonville. And Forest is at Summertown.
6:30, Riverdale is at Wilson Central on the Diamond. Boys soccer action. 7 o'clock starts for White House Heritage at Greenbrier and White House at Portland. Girls flag football up in Montgomery County. West Creek is at Northwest at 6, and Northeast is at Clarksville also at 6. Major League Baseball at 6:45. The Braves open a 3-game series at Busch Stadium against the Cardinals. And at 8:40, the Diamondbacks are at the Padres.
Yes. There's a reason that one's on the rundown.
and on the bump for the host Padres will be former Loretto standout Ryan Weathers. So if you can find that one, find it. 7:30 tonight on Bally Sports South. The Predators go to Dallas to take on the Stars, and that is your rundown.
We made it.
Speak for yourself.
Very well done. Very well done.
That's always the roughest one, man. Mondays in the spring are tough. It just is.
Especially when they're throwing in double headers and back-to-back double headers and 4-game series and oh goodness,
man, I'm telling you, when I'm writing it, when I was going through there on Friday, I thought, why are they playing 2 different people like on the same weekend? It doesn't make. I mean, gosh, the travel in between that's got to be brutal, but that's what they do. So,
hey,
who knows? It's crazy, man.
You too. Never a dull moment.
Never. It's funny when you said Cottage Hill of Alabama, and I was like, who is that? I've never heard of them.
What?
And, well, Mobile, the Mobile area has blown up so much.
So they got new schools?
Well, they're a private school, and they started playing in 2009. So they don't sponsor football. which is why I was like, I don't know who these people are. I've
Well, I
never
mean,
heard
if
of this school.
if you're an Alabama school and you don't play football, are you really an Alabama school?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I was very I had to look them up. I was like, I don't even know who this is. So you learn something new every day. But
TIL.
anyway, there you go. We've got Joe Rexrode of The Athletic coming up here in just a moment. So stick around. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into the Lee Company studio on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here, as we are each and every weekday from 2 until 3:30. Glad to have you guys with us, and glad to have so many fantastic guests joining us each and every day on the show. And today's no different, Mo. We get a chance to talk with Joe Rexrode of The Athletic. And today, Joe, what's up, man?
Not much. Hopefully this will technically work. I feel like lately I've been coming on and then something glitches on my end. So hopefully like we're close enough to the router and on the computer and everything's good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, Joe. Appreciate you taking some time with us and appreciate you battling through those technical difficulties as long as you could the last few times we've had you on. But man, I wanted to catch up with you because there aren't too many bigger college basketball aficionados out there than you, both men's and women's. And this has been a great weekend, and it wraps up tonight. But just wanted to get your thoughts just off the dome, whatever you're thinking out of Friday, Saturday, Sunday to this point.
Well, first of all, I think it's been an incredible weekend for women's basketball. So, I mean, overall, it's hard to beat, what this weekend was. I thought Iowa, South Carolina totally lived up to the hype. And you know how it is. A lot of times these games that have such buildup don't, and that one did. And, of course, there's a lot of stuff non-basketball coming out of the women's title game. I mean, my quick thoughts on that. I really, really don't like how the game was officiated. I mean, this is a consistent complaint for me in college basketball officiating, men's and women's. Like the going for flops. I mean, they created a rule to try to save themselves from going for flops, and they still go for every flop. So that's one thing. And just the second technical on Caitlin Clark, I understand that, the pool report told the pool reporter that's technically their second. They had to delay a game warning. You got to have a little bit of sense for the game at that point as an official and suck it up when Kim Mulkey is jumping on your back on the other side of the floor and apparently is just impossible to give a technical to her. So, and then, of course, all the taunting talk. I mean, it's almost sickening to me. Some of the responses to Angel Reese and what she did. I mean, she was persistent. She wanted to make sure Caitlin Clark saw the thing. But I mean, Caitlin Clark talks trash left and right. I mean, she told Haley Van Lith to shut up. You're down 15 last week, and we celebrate. I mean, trash talk is part of this, like it or not. And the complete contrast and reaction to like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark to me is baffling. But then again, maybe it's not so baffling. But I'm sick of it already. And then, missing in all that is say whatever you want about Kim Mulkey. She's an awfully good coach, and LSU just was incredible yesterday. I mean, they were fantastic, and it's too bad it kind of gets overshadowed by some of this other stuff, but they flat out won that game, and it's still amazing to me that team with 2 losses, one to South Carolina, one to Tennessee, is a 3 seed. But
those are only 2 good teams they played, though.
I know. They had a very bad non-league, but it's still like when you're in that league, and you do as well as they did, I could make a case for a 2, but whatever. Go to
for
chance.
sure.
Well, I don't think either committee was without its flaws, but and for more, we'll go to the men's side. with Florida Atlantic, man, what a heartbreaker.
They were the better team, and at times they were so close to putting that game away. And but you got to give San Diego State credit. San Diego State, think back to that Alabama game. I think Alabama went on one of those runs and they were up 9 or 11, right? Like in the second half, it's like, okay, nice half, San Diego State. Way to hang with these guys, and you can pack it in now. They are a very tough, resilient team, and obviously you get the amazing. It's a beautiful thing when you get a true buzzer beater down 1 to win by 1. Like Lamont Butler hit an all-time moment. And you know what? That game, guys, I thought that game was going to be like 52-48. Like I thought we were in for just a total rock fight, and it was a great shot making. It was a really good game. So which is a good thing because basically, whenever UConn plays these days, you can count on it not being a good game because they're that much better than everybody so far.
More on that in a second. We discussed last week San Diego State and this run to the Final Four that they've been on. And with conference realignment and everything, Joe, is the Pac-12 a done deal for them at this point?
That's a good question. I've heard that, but like I still always look at these things through the football prism, and you're not adding a ton of value there.
Getting into the San Diego market wouldn't necessarily be that big a deal.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's also where it's like, because it used to. That's the thing when it was back in the, before we kind of went to. Where it's streaming and it's not as much market. I mean, you think about Rutgers. Rutgers would not get in the Big Ten now, But when Jim Delaney went and got Rutgers and got Maryland, it's like DC market, and that's back when just cable packages and basically you're just forcing all these customers of your league. It really isn't the same level of thing. But to your point, it's still a market. It's still a good market. Yeah, I mean, I certainly could see it. I still also, though, I feel like brand names in football these days to add value, if you're going to keep splitting the money up, it's kind of like, okay, but what are you bringing in football? it's been a tremendous story of what this program has come, really, and it hasn't been too long. It's been about a decade of this program being built into a very good program. Does it move the needle more now? Probably more now, right? Because they got to this point. But that's a really good question. I mean, I could see it.
I'm curious because the Pac-12 kind of is in a whole other situation. I follow a couple of folks from the Pac-12 area who are just they're either putting on a brave face or they are unbothered by this. So I don't know if they even care. It's so confusing out there, which at this point everything's confusing in college sports in general. But talking about tonight, this game, UConn just seems to be on a mission, and they are running roughshod through this tournament. Is there any way San Diego State can hang with this team?
I think if they have the absolute best they had, like against Alabama. I mean, Alabama was playing at a really high level too, and I know it was only 2 games in this tournament. But you think about how they were playing in Nashville before that. Mm-hmm. You could say that was as good a basketball team as we had going, and then San Diego State came out and I think kind of surprised them in the first half. But look, they play good defense. They are a very, very sound, tough, physical, rim protecting defensive team. So, they stay in front of people for the most part. They're in the gaps really well. They're just going to have to, but even with all that, with everything that UConn can do to beat you, like they're going to have a magical shooting night to me. I mean, San Diego State's going to, and again, the other night was a higher scoring game than I expected. I mean, I think San Diego State has got to feel like it needs to get into the 70s to have a chance to win this game. And we never talk about UConn's defense, but they obviously can just completely take the rim out of play for opponents as well. It's such a well-built team. You got some high-level talent. You got a really good point guard, shooters, bigs. And that freshman big is, like 7'2" and really mobile. I mean, it's just a really well-built, well-coached team. But I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance if San Diego State has a really special shooter. Like Matt Bradley needs to carry his shooting over. He's been shooting terribly in the tournament, and they don't have a chance the other night if he doesn't kind of go off, shooting the basketball. They need more of that to have a chance. But I mean, look, their defense, the stretches for most of that Alabama game, it was probably as well as Alabama's been defended all year, other than the game in Knoxville.
Now, when you're looking back at this tournament, is this the best NCAA basketball tournament that, as far as just overall from top to bottom, that you can remember? I can't remember another one being this unique.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, we've had these tournaments where George Mason gets in, VCU gets in, you have the kind of surprise Final Four team. And I mean, even think about last year, just St. Peter's last year getting to the Elite Eight was like mind blowing, I feel like, like I can't sit here and produce, here's a better tournament, but I do think it's hard to call a tournament one of the best if it doesn't end in an incredible way. Sure. If we have a really good game tonight, then I think you'd have to talk about it. It's been wild start to finish. When you think about the ones going out early like they did, lots of great games. And there's always great games in the tournament, and then you have some of these runs, these unexpected runs. I mean, I think it would have to be in the discussion, but I think you got to finish strong. Like if UConn wins by 18 tonight, that takes a little bit of luster off it, and I think that's certainly possible.
Joe Rexrode of The Athletic joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Joe, when you look at how topsy-turvy the season was, the tournament has certainly reflected that. And when you get Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, and Miami to the Final Four, that's just kind of a snapshot, it feels like, of what the entire season was.
Yeah, and I think some different things. One is, first of all, like you got to respect Conference USA, not just with what FAU did, but you look at the NIT, you know, 2 teams playing for that title, and a controversial championship game, by the way. But
more officiating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's like the buzzer rings. It's a shot clock violation, guys. It's pretty simple.
Twice.
But yeah, twice. Yeah, but still, like CUSA coming out of this, you got to respect. I mean, like when you see a team that wins as much as Florida Atlantic won this year, I understand it's not a power league, but you got to respect that. I think that's something to take away. You know, Miami has got some guys. You know, Miami is a loaded team, so. I mean, I think they were the best team in the ACC all year, really. Also, I think with UConn, it's a good example of if you see a team early in the season and they play a really good schedule, they're in some of these bigger events, and they're battering other, you know, supposed top teams. Remember that because a lot of times teams get into their leagues and then they're just so scouted and they're just so many grinders in these good leagues. Big East very good this year. And so, you know, you kind of had some rough patches and stuff, and sometimes then you get back out of league play, and it's like, oh, we can play basketball again. I think that's exactly what you're seeing with UConn. Like, this is really who they were all along. They just had to go through some. So next year, you know, you see a team that's throttling everybody early, and they even if they go through some tough times, keep that in mind. But I also think the whole thing is, you know, it's. I mean, this is only a year after super brand name Final Four, so. You don't want to overreact, you know, but I do think that we're seeing. I'm going to look at LSU winning the women's championship in year 2 under Kim Mulkey. She's a very good coach. Also, just an incredible job of using the portal. And I just think that you've got to look around. So sometimes you get these teams that get old, like the Villanova teams that won it all, and that means a great deal. But you can also get there quickly if you make good choices and can get a team to, you know, to gel. And so I feel like there's like more unpredictability and different ways to get there that we're going to see in the future.
Joe, does that make what Florida Atlantic did all the more amazing? Because, I mean, it's not like they were living in the transfer portal necessarily.
Right. No, for sure. And that's the thing is then you have, look, if you're good at, you know, putting a team together, you can keep a team together. I mean, you can do it that way too. I mean, the team I covered for a long time, you know, lost to Kansas State in an incredible game, but there's a team that they don't have, and Michigan State doesn't have NBA players, and they didn't go in the portal at all. Basically, Izzo's like, I just want to keep the same guys together and see what it does for me. And, you know, got you to the Sweet 16 and you easily could have at least gotten to the Elite 8. So, yeah, there's different ways for sure. But I feel like, you know, it's just like if you're an FAU in a lot of cases, I mean, let's look at what's happened to Belmont, both men's and women's basketball, you know, recently with the portal, you know, trying to keep good players. That's where it's hard to be able to rely on that. It worked out for them now, but you know, it's just you're in such jeopardy, such having to re-recruit your team. And that's even if you're at the Power 5 level, let alone if you're a mid-major.
Seems to be the issue going around, especially down in Auburn. I mean, heck, just look at what's going on at Bruce Pearl's situation. Wendell Green's gone. I mean, and it's insane at every level.
Yeah, well, I mean, one name I did not at all expect to be in the portal is Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. I mean, that's
well, another name I didn't expect to be in the portal.
Could have gone to the NBA.
Didn't expect to see Olivier Kamwa in the portal either.
Yeah, well, see, I expected him to not be at UT next year. I think Olivier Kamwa. I think there's an example of, you know, maybe a little bit inflated. I don't want to say self-view, but a little bit maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say inflated. Let's say someone who thinks maybe he wasn't utilized well enough or thoroughly enough. So I thought Kamwa would be playing professionally somewhere next year. But it's very interesting that he's in the portal, and yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. Maybe somebody can get Kamwa and Dickinson together. You got a 4 or 5 combo right there. Boom, natty next year.
Director of the Athletic joining us here. Joe, before we let you go, rumors circulating, flying out this time of year around the NFL draft mean absolutely nothing. But, hearing rumors of the Titans may be trying to trade up to 3, if that's the case, Rand Carthen must really like somebody.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm really hesitant with these because, yes, you could see how that could come like through the Cardinals. They know Monty Ossenford, obviously, and it gets to Daniel Jeremiah. But also, like you said, misinformation and weird stuff flies around. But I think it makes sense for the Titans. Look, I mean, they have evaluated the heck out of these quarterbacks. There's no doubt, which they had to do. I mean, they have spent the time with these quarterbacks as if they're drafting a quarterback, which is, I thought they had to do it. They have done it. So are they in love with one of them or more than one of them? If so, then from 11, you have a real chance to get up there. And let's think about the possibility that the quarterback that they want, they could potentially go up and get and keep the Colts from getting that quarterback. It's such an interesting situation with the AFC South and the way things stand right now. So I don't think it's the craziest idea. I'd love to know who it is. I mean, I feel like logic tells me that Stroud and Young are going to be off the board 1 and 2. So to me, then, I mean, personally, if it's anybody else, although I think I would probably pick Hendon Hooker next, but I mean, I think, if it's one of the two popularly projected top 10 guys, I would hope it would be Richardson and not Levis. That's just me.
So here's the thing, though. A lot of folks are saying Anthony Richardson in that number 1 spot. Now, obviously, we don't know that, but if you go ahead and trade to 3, you can always trade it out. Somebody that wants 3.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, that's the crazy. I mean, look, if Anthony Richardson goes 1 overall, I mean, it's wild, but you know what? I can see it. And so then is it somebody else in there that you really wanted now that you can get at 3? And who would that be? I mean, look, next year is the better QB class, but there's no guarantee you're going to be in any kind of position to grab one of those top guys.
Sure. As always, Joe, we appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Glad we got through the entire segment this time.
How about that? All right, we're on a roll.
So now we know where you got to be when we talk to you. Then.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can get it doing on the computer. I'm good.
Joe, we appreciate it, man.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, it is more on the women's hoop situation from last night. Did Angel Reese take it too far? We'll talk about it on the other side. Back to the Lee Company studio, Main Street Sports Today, right after this.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
This is Chris Yow with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat.
She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact,
Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Like, apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
You got that radio voice.
I do.
It's a good sound.
Thanks for radio too.
As do we.
And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
And we reach every main street in Middle Tennessee, Coach.
yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you are on Main Street and you are moving
You gotta love it.
like you're moving, I was impressed.
I'm glad someone. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. In the Lee Company Studios, Chris Yow and Mo Patton. Still to come on the show, Josh Corey of Titans Community Relations will join the show and talk a little girls flag football. Tough day for one of the area's premier flag football and softball players. One of a Franklin player fractured her ankle yesterday. Yeah, and she's also the softball pitcher. So yeah,
pitcher.
well, she's the top pitcher for Franklin softball team. So obviously she's hoping to get back into the circle soon. But
Fractured ankle?
Yeah, be tough. Hopefully it was all the way through, and maybe 6 weeks is all she needs. And but anyway, we'll talk more flag football and what how things are going from Montgomery County all the way through Metro and into Williamson County with Josh. We'll also talk Braves as the lineup is out, and it's interesting, to say the least. So get to all that and more right after this, but we are going to talk a little more college hoops. And last night, one of the most impressive showings, by the way, we can talk about officiating all you want, but officiating don't hit 50% from the floor and 40% from 3-point land. And LSU was on an absolute tear last night offensively, 102 points. You dropped triple digits in the national championship game, and that's something to be celebrated no matter what.
Without question. I mean, I'm conflicted about LSU for a number of reasons, but you can't take anything away from what they've done this year and what they did yesterday. I mean, shout out to Jasmine Carson, man. 21 points in the first half. As I texted you yesterday, I don't think Iowa had that on their scouting report at all. So
nor did anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, who is she and where did she come from?
Yeah.
And why aren't we guarding her? But sometimes it takes that kind of performance when you're trying to win a national championship. You got to get something from somebody that you didn't necessarily expect to, and they certainly got it.
Championship teams are typically do get something from someone you don't expect, and especially to make a deep run in a tournament like this, you're going to have to get some help from your bench particularly, and obviously LSU outscored Iowa's bench by a landslide.
30-8, I think.
Yeah, it was a ton. So a great win for LSU. Again, Kim Mulkey taking a second team to a national title. She's got 4 overall now.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a really good basketball team. We watched Tennessee lose to them in the regular season, and I thought, okay, they got a legit shot. And then Tennessee gets them back in the SEC tournament. And I thought, okay, well, maybe not. and that's the loss that sent them to the 3 line. I mean, if they'd have gotten to the SEC championship game, they're probably a 2.
Like Joe said.
But that's the game that probably sent them down to the 3, and it worked out just fine for them. You never know what may have happened if they end up with a 2 instead of a 3. So,
and let's just say this. I was fantastic.
Iowa is, and this is a team that got beat pretty handily by Indiana in the Big Ten championship.
Well, and again, that's what's funny because Iowa lost to Indiana in the Big Ten championship. LSU lost to Tennessee in the SEC semifinals. I mean,
yeah, neither team won their conference, and and now you're looking at those two teams in the national championship game. But again, in the Final Four as a whole, we talked about the star power was there from Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and I'm missing the other girl.
We're missing the other team. Who did LSU? Oh, Virginia Tech with Elizabeth Kitley and Georgia Amore.
Oh yeah, that's it. Georgia Amore is the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
So I mean,
a little Australian guard.
The star power's there, and obviously, I think we've seen initial ratings. I think once we see overall ratings in the women's Final Four, it's going to be astronomical, and that's exactly what you need. That's exactly what this game needed. And let's be honest. Everybody talking about the women's basketball Final Four after the drama unfolded last night is probably also a positive for the game. Because listen, sports need that. Sports need someone that half the people love and half the people hate. Whether they hate, half the people love Caitlin Clark and hate her, half the people love Angel Reese and hate her. It just is what it is. That's what makes sports unique. You need an actual hero. You need an actual villain. And so with both of them likely coming back next year, you think, oh gosh, boy, what if we see Iowa LSU at some point? I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean that's the way Iowa South Carolina had been anticipated since Aaliyah Boston was the National Player of the Year last year, and everybody thought it should have been Caitlin Clark, and Clark got it this year, and everybody's like, well, wait till we get them both on the floor. Well, we did, and Iowa had the answer for South Carolina on Friday night, and so then you got Clark and Caitlin and Angel Reese and the rest of LSU. I mean, like you said, people are definitely talking about women's basketball, and they're talking about this Final Four, and that's a great thing. I wish that all of the talk wasn't about the taunting issue, but I guess I guess negative publicity is better than no publicity, especially when it comes to under publicized events and entities. So.
Yeah, and that is part of it for sure, and it is unfortunate that one individual seems to be getting most of the attention, and some of it is on her. I mean, she went to Twitter right after and posted screenshots and this, that, and the other. I mean, she certainly, Angel Reese has certainly increased her visibility with this, and that's great for her because she came to LSU and. We're not going to sugarcoat it. She came to LSU for NIL deals, and she's getting paid. And this only increases her visibility, and it makes people love her that much more. It makes some people hate her that much more. And trash talking is part of the game, as Joe said. I don't think anybody will tell you any different. What I will say is I think there's a false equivalency being made in the Caitlin Clark situation and Angel Reese's situation. And I say that and Mo, let's talk about this as an official. If you saw what Caitlin Clark did against Louisville and you saw what Angel Reese did against two, in the vicinity of Caitlin Clark in an 18U game at Franklin Rec, would you tee either one of them up?
In an 18U game at Franklin Rec? That's a good question because I did have to tee a kid up in an 18U game down at Brentwood earlier this year. But, honestly, in an 18U game at Franklin Rec, I probably would have teed somebody up in that situation just because we don't need that there. Right. I think there's a huge difference in that situation and a national championship game. But that's just me.
I just think that we would have called that unsportsmanlike. I don't necessarily call it classless. And a lot of people are calling it classless and disgusting and all that. And that I'm not here to argue the level of class shown by either You know, that's neither here nor there. But as weird as that game was called, to not, I mean, if we're throwing out texts for, you know, for just taking the ball and flicking it with your wrist because you're going to meet with your team and you're not trying to find a referee with the ball. Like, it's not like she threw it to the sideline
or not like she threw it at anybody or anything. I mean,
that was
that.
So as weird as that game was called, I know it was over at that point, but I would have called it unsportsmanlike as an official. And that's the only, I would not have in the situation with Caitlin Clark in Louisville, because it wasn't directed at an opponent. And I think that's where the difference, and here's the technical that was ridiculous, by the way, but it is what it is. I mean, that was literally just, I'm getting the ball out of my way. And it wasn't delay a game. You're going right back to that spot to administer the free throw. So whatever, lady. But anyway.
And I will say this. You had an all women's crew on the national championship game. I think you had all women on both the semifinal games, and they're having to deal with some things and listen to some things themselves. And I mean, the officiating wasn't great, but I don't know that that's an indictment of women officials, as a number of people want to make it. I think
God, no.
I mean,
it's been bad everywhere at every level with any gender.
It's just officiating, period.
It's been so bad. And again, that's because we don't have enough high school officials getting enough reps in the high school game to move up to the collegiate game. And that's, I mean, that's just it. That's the facts. We saw a couple of really good female officials in the boys state tournament, I thought. So,
well, and I think that there are a number of really good women's officials in the women's college basketball game. They just weren't at the Final Four for whatever reason. I mean, we got one that lives right here in Nashville. So, I mean, maybe it's just a matter of getting the right women.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. It is really interesting how the game, you know, was officiated from start to finish. I think, you know, obviously calling it super tight early, trying to nip some of the ticky-tack stuff in the bud, I guess, but it's a national championship game. You're going to have to let them play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's easier to start tight and loosen up than start loose and tighten up, but you ideally you can kind of hit that balance from the get.
One would think. But let's just say this. It doesn't matter. The men's game, the women's game has been officiated poorly throughout both tournaments. It doesn't change the fact that both of these tournaments have been fantastic. And the women's tournament, after what we saw last night and throughout the weekend with both semifinal games, you can't deny that women's basketball is on the rise. I mean, after what softball did to kind of get to a household name level, basketball is starting to make that climb, and I think it's huge. I think it's important, and I'm looking forward to it. I think women's basketball at the collegiate level is good. It's fun. It's entertaining, and it's even more entertaining when you have characters like Caitlin Clark, when you have characters like Angel Reese, when you have people who are passionate, who care about the game, and are worried about their legacies. And I think that's important. I will say this though, LSU fans who have been talking all that crap about how Tennessee's baseball team is trash, shut up. You're down 15 points or whatever. Caitlin Clark said. Or Tennessee fans who are talking trash about Angel Reese, shut up. Because you loved it when the baseball team was doing it. So that's all I'm going to say. That's how I'm ending my conversation on that one right there.
Well, I'm going to end it on this. Whoever the Baton Rouge radio personality was
Oh gosh.
That said,
Don't make me angry.
immeasurable respect to Gino Auriemma and Pat Summitt, but Kim Mulkey is the greatest women's college basketball coach of all time. Dude, I guarantee you that dude doesn't even know who Sue Gunter is.
This is I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting angry about it. That guy's a nut. He's playing to his base. Good for him. Do it. Go for it. That's all I'm going to say. Good for you, buddy. You just keep that same energy forever. You do you. We do need to take a break because Josh Corey is standing by. Josh, can you hear us? Okay. It looks like he can. So he couldn't hear us a minute ago. So now that he can, we will take a break. We'll come back, talk a little cross flag football on the other side of Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here on this dreary and rainy Monday, Reaction Monday here. It's going to be dreary and rainy all week, so make sure, again, when we give you the rundown that you are checking your local listings to make sure that games are still being played, especially if they're outside. But got in plenty of games yesterday in Williamson County and girls flag football. Got some coming up on Wednesday, scheduled for, is it Wednesday?
In Metro?
Wednesday in Metro. And then tonight, we got a couple up in Montgomery County. Plenty of girls flag football to be seen around the mid-state. And a lot of that is because of the partnership with the Tennessee Titans and Titans Community Relations. And that is why we have with us Josh Corey of Titans Community Relations with us on the show. Josh, welcome in. What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Josh, man. You got to be loving the progress that girls flag football has made, getting from Williamson County as a pilot program for the TSSAA last year to Metro and Montgomery County, both picking it up. It's got to be pretty exciting to watch, I would think.
Yeah, it's certainly taking off. We're extremely happy with the start that we had last season in Williamson County, and Darren Joins and the coaches and the ADs in that district really did it the right way, and we had a fantastic season. And then coming into Metro Nashville Public Schools this year with 15 schools coming on board there, and another 7 in Clarksville, Montgomery County. We're really excited about how this is progressing, and been pretty impressed with a lot of the ball being played by the young women in those 3 districts this year too. It's been pretty impressive.
Have you had a chance to get out yet this year?
So I've seen highlights for this year. We actually are going as a whole department staff next week to go catch one of the sites for MNPS. But I do know that the Franklin Admirals are 4-0 on the season this year, and so they're gunning to get back into that semifinal game and maybe get a little bit of revenge in that Williamson County championship tournament from last year.
Yeah, the Admirals 4-0 after yesterday's 2 wins. Fairview and Page each sitting at 3-1, but been some exciting ball. And checking in with Charles Pulliam down at the Williamson Herald, Ava Webb, Donnie Webb's daughter, has really done a great job for Franklin at quarterback.
Yeah, they had a great team last year. A lot of people kind of penciled them into the championship game last year. They had a great team, got a lot of girls coming back and returning from last season. But was talking to Darren Joins last week, and he was like, man, he's the athletic director for Williamson County Schools. And Darren was like, the level of play between even last year and the beginning of this year has just been off the charts. So this is something skill-wise that the girls are kind of, refining some of those fundamentals, and a lot of good football being played around that district, and just so exciting here in Metro Nashville as well. Mark North is their district athletic director, and Dr. Adrian Battle, the director of schools, have been instrumental in bringing this sport, to their district. And then, like I said, in Clarksville, Montgomery County, with John Miller as the AD up there, they've just been so supportive, and everything's firing on all cylinders. But I mean, this is a great game, and it's really not a hard sell. When we've gone out to some of these districts, it hasn't been that hard of a sell, because it's such a great game and the new opportunity for kids. And so we're really excited about it.
Who's next on board, Josh?
So we've got some conversations with some of the private schools here in the Nashville metro area, looking to maybe bring some of them on board. Also, it's time to kind of branch out from just this Middle Tennessee area, maybe branch out into West Tennessee or East Tennessee. Obviously, one of our goals is to get this sanctioned as a sport, a varsity sport with the TSSAA. The administration with TSSAA has been very supportive of this. They've stayed, in lockstep with us throughout the journey, and we're hopefully looking to get that sanction. I would say our target date is the spring of the 2025 season.
I was going to ask you that. How quickly did you expect it to maybe be sanctioned? And I think in our previous conversations, you told me that you had some experience with girls flag down in Florida before you came up here. Is that right?
Yeah. So I worked at a high school in Florida, was an athletic administrator down there, and was down there when when everything kind of came on board in Florida and started as a club sport, and then kind of played for a few years as that, and then got it sanctioned. And you can just see the level of play down there. We started with just about 20 young women on a team, and ended up, when I came up here for this job with the Titans, we had enough girls to fill 3 programs through the freshman, the JV, and the varsity level. So it's a great sport. Girls really enjoy it, and it's going to be here. It's not a matter of if, but when.
How long did it take Florida to get from club status to sanction status, Josh? Do you remember?
I'd probably say from start to finish, I would say probably about 4 seasons to get everything kind of finalized. And, we wanted, by the end of the 3rd season, we really wanted to be able to say that we were going to have this sanction for the next school year. And that's what we're shooting for. And we think we've got a good chance to do that.
Josh Corey of Titans Community Relations joining us here at Titans Community on Twitter, and Josh Corey _ on Twitter. Josh, this has been a kind of a quick, or at least it feels like it's been quick, ascension to Metro and to Montgomery County. And has the Titans organization and their involvement in this, have you guys been surprised with how well it's kind of taken a hold in the new places like Montgomery County and Metro Nashville? Or do you just feel like this is exactly what you guys expected?
I think a little bit of both, Chris. I think that we knew it would take a little bit of time, but this isn't just something in Tennessee. This is more on a national stage of now that there are 8 states that have sanctioned girls flag as a varsity sport. New York and California just coming on most recently, and so this is something that is a movement across the country. And of course, we want to give our kids the opportunity to be on the front side of that movement. And we think that with the progress that we've made, and just the emphasis we've put on this, that we're positioning ourselves to do that. That they are playing at the collegiate level now. We've had some girls from the Middle Tennessee area that have signed college scholarships to play at the NAIA level and further their education and their athletic careers. It's something that we think will trend into the NCAA level, Division III schools here in the next couple of years, and then work its way up to Division II and so on and so forth. So I think that it's the Titans have certainly helped. We have spearheaded this in the state of Tennessee, but this is kind of a national movement.
How involved have you all been, Josh, with the with some of the colleges that are bringing it on board, or have you been at all?
So we've had some conversations with some of those schools. Look, we want those schools to come to Tennessee and recruit our kids, very similar to the high school recruiting fair that we run every year for boys tackle football. We want to start moving in the direction where maybe we have a girls flag football showcase where college coaches can come in and see these girls participate in different drills and combine style drills, things like that, and then just get them exposure and see them play the game. So they come to Tennessee and they start recruiting our kids, so our kids have the opportunities to play in college. That's something that's real important to us.
Yeah, I like the phrase that you just used, boys tackle football. We had Maurice Fitzgerald, the Hillsborough girls coach, on a couple of weeks ago, and we mentioned boys football coach Maurice Fitzgerald, and it felt funny, obviously, and it was a little funny because you've never really had to qualify it like that. And that's not a bad thing that you do, but it's certainly different.
Yeah, it certainly is. we had a girls flag football uniform reveal for Metro Nashville schools a couple weeks ago at our stadium, and it was just a great event. And we had every school from Metro schools represented there. And Coach Fitzgerald was there. He's obviously the head coach at Hillsborough High School for their girls flag team. And I think that when you get coaches involved that have the legacy and the success that a guy like Coach Fitzgerald has had throughout this state, it brings immediate credibility to the sport. And we saw that as well in Williamson County last year, where we had several of the head boys tackle football coaches also stepped up and coached the girls team. Will Hester at Ravenwood and some others, Chris Hughes at Fairview, some other coaches in that district. And like I said, their involvement lends instant credibility, but also very impressed with the number of female coaches that are involved as well in all of these districts. And, certainly inclusivity is what a lot of this is about for us.
It's going to be a lot of fun watching this game grow, and I expect it to grow exponentially over the next few years. But again, I tell you, just whenever you guys want to decide to just end it all, let Lawrence County athletes start playing. Summertown Loretto will take over, and everybody will just be mad. That's how it goes down here. But no, it's going to be fun to watch it grow, and obviously the TSSAA will soon take notice and can't wait for that as well.
Josh, let me ask you something, but before we get too far away from what Chris was just saying, have you had any interest from maybe one or two schools that would like to try to play that don't really have a league? I mean, how would you deal with that? Is that something that y'all could some kind of way accommodate if you had, say, a team in Robertson County or something like that, or a school that was interested in getting involved? Is that any kind of discussion that has come up?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mo, and something that the TSSAA has asked us about as well is how do we expand to some of our rural counties, maybe counties that only have a couple schools that are able to play. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because obviously you can't have a team from Union City travel all the way to Nashville to play games, and that's just not feasible. So what we're trying to do is in working with TSSAA is take an interest survey of schools around the state, and then maybe put them in clusters. For example, Jackson, Tennessee, their school district is very interested in starting a league next spring. And we've been in discussion with them about this, and they have 6 schools in Jackson, Tennessee, but incorporating some of those rural districts outside the Jackson area that may have 1 or 2 high schools, but forming one league in that cluster and that kind of thing. So that's one of the challenges that we're currently working on. And of course, we want to include anyone that wants the opportunity to play.
There you go. Josh Corey again with Titans Community Relations here on Main Street Sports Today. Josh, as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Glad we could get you on. I know we've tried to get you on a couple of times, and breaking news happens, and Lord knows what all, but we appreciate you taking some time with us and growing the game of girls flag football.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and anytime Mo Patton texts me and wants to bring me on, I'm there, baby.
I appreciate that, Josh. Good talking to you. We'll catch up.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Braves chatter and this day in Braves history right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment.
Mid-Tennessee. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
April 3rd, 2000, Andres Galarraga, who we talked about last week, and Andrew Jones, who we'll talk about here in moments, hit back-to-back bombs in the seventh inning to give the Braves a 2-0 victory over visiting Colorado in Galarraga's first game back after missing the entire 1999 season battling cancer. That was this day in Braves history.
And today in Braves history, the team from Atlanta takes the field against that team from the West. And
yeah, I'm not sure you
or
can
the Midwest
that year. There's a lot of those teams.
Yeah, everybody's to the west of Atlanta, just about.
Pretty much.
But another series where we'll see a brand new player, a brand new pitcher to get the start. I like that Jared Schuster got a chance to work against Washington on Sunday, and instead of trying to throw Morton out there and then leaving the Cardinals with three guys we've probably never heard of. But this weekend, splitting with the Nationals, you feel kind of like that last one got away, but you got to give some credit to Jared Schuster. Had a tough first inning, gave up 4 runs to the Nationals, but then worked another. I think he came out after the fourth, or
he went 4 2/3 for the day. So he went 3 2/3 scoreless after
that's pretty
giving
good.
up 4 runs in the first 6 hitters. So
you got to give the kid credit for that. They're 75-ish pitches, and once he settled down and got into it, I mean, there's nerves. I mean, gosh, can you imagine? Your first game in the major leagues. Not everybody's going to go out there and be Spencer Strider, and to Strider's credit, he was able to come out of the bullpen, and that's how most of these guys start. You don't usually have to take the ball, run out there in inning number 1 and make it work. So credit to him for what he did. I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be a good option for the Braves. And look, credit to Brian Snitker for letting him figure it out instead of, just pulling him and saying, no, we're not going to try this. We're going to be done. So it works out sometimes.
Well, I mean, I don't think Snitker or the Braves have gotten to where they have by being, knee jerk with these young guys. And they've just they've had too many of them to be able to do that, and you've had to suffer through some growing pains with some guys. I mean, how much rope did Kyle Muller and some of those other guys get before you just realize, or before you start to come to the conclusion that maybe this isn't going to work? I mean, folks wanted them to throw the towel in on Kyle Wright, and we see how that worked out. So, I mean, I think this is an organization that's going to give young pitchers every opportunity to rise or fall. And it wouldn't surprise me if Schuster's back out there again here in 5 days.
Well, if he is, Max Fried's going to have to go to the IL because he was, I guess they moved Dodd in for Schuster and then optioned Luplow to AAA. So there's a lot of roster moves that I don't necessarily understand how they all, correlate. But
well, I think Fried is on the IL.
I don't think he's there yet. I think they're going to put him there, but I don't think he's.
They may not put him there until they have to make a roster move for him. Where is Dodd? Is Dodd in Gwinnett?
No. So they selected Dylan Dodd's contract and then optioned Schuster to Gwinnett, and then I'm sorry, the DFA'd Luplow, which he's just kind of the odd man out, I would assume.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's look, I mean, this team is built on a great lineup and pitching that can get the job done. Spencer Strider was fantastic. Don't know if y'all know that, but he's really freaking good. He's only got 2 pitches, Mo. Yeah, but they can't hit either one of them.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't matter how many pitches you have if they can't hit them. And nobody's figured it out yet. Dude was another 9 strikeouts. He may strike out 300 if he stays healthy all year.
I don't have a problem with it.
It's insane. But looking forward to tonight, except that Travis d'Arnaud will be behind the plate and Marcell Ozuna will be the DH, and I assume that Sean Murphy's just going to be chilling on the bench somewhere. I don't know.
Well, hopefully Sean Murphy will be in the batting cage.
Well, that would be ideal. But yeah, I mean, he's not been great to start.
He's not been great. And I'm trying to, I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, but I mean, he banged into a double play yesterday. I think he was involved in 2 double plays, one as a base runner after he drew a walk and one it hit into, I think. And I mean, 2 games is not a season make, certainly, but you'd like to see a little bit more production out of him early. So,
well, any production would be more because he's over 7 on the year. He did walk the one time, and he has grounded into 3 double plays already. So can't do that.
That's promising.
So yeah, I mean, but we saw the big reason that he's on the team, and that's the
dude's got a cannon.
He can gun you.
Yeah,
there's no question there. So
this just in: it is legal to throw stolen base attempt guys out. We can do that.
Yeah, well, some of us can.
Well, I mean, it's doable. Is the point?
Eddie Rosario in left. It'll be Acuna in right to lead off, Olsen and Ozzie hitting 6th. So we're just throwing people. I really feel like there are some parts of this lineup that Snicker just throws against the wall, and wherever they land's where they land.
Well, I mean, d'Arnaud's hitting 462. He's got multiple extra base hits.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just because it's all been from 4 to 7 has kind of been just jumbled throughout the weekend and today. So got to figure it out, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's early. This is game 4.
It's early, but definitely don't want to lose to the Cardinals if we can help it. So go get them, Charlie.
You know
Morton.
what, though? I'll take 2-1 every series.
Hey, if you win every series, you You're going to have a pretty good time.
You're going to be pretty good by the time it's over with.
You are, in fact. All right. Big news out of Atlanta today. We'll have to get to it tomorrow because we have 5 seconds. So we have to say so long, farewell. See you tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today.